This motel used to get $50 a night, now it gets over $300. Why the big difference and how did we do it? Let's get into it. This story starts in 2020 when we were living in Philadelphia running a clothing company. When the world started to shut down, we decided to leave the city and go to the mountains of Pennsylvania. At first we moved into an Airbnb, and while we were there, we started looking around the area to buy a cabin of our own. But it turns out everybody had that same idea. So instead, we started to look at other properties. And it turns out hospitality was really taking a hit, so there was a number of old motels on the market. We ended up finding this one and negotiating to buy it for $242,000, which we didn't have. So we refinanced our home, took that money out, purchased the motel, and moved here with our kids. All right, so this is the unit that we moved into right after we purchased it, but it didn't always look like this. This was the 2-bedroom owner unit when we moved in, and because the owner had lived here for so long, it was in rough shape, and they took all their furniture, so we didn't have anything when we moved in. We only had our clothing. So we ended up going into all the different units and trying to find furniture from the other motel rooms. We brought in things that we could use, although there was no chairs, so we were sitting on cardboard boxes the first night. We had mattresses on the ground. There was a dog urine infested carpet that was in here that definitely needed to get out. There was so many things about this experience that was both exciting, but also really unnerving because we had never lived outside of a city. We had had our kids in a city. Our kids were used to city parks, not like state parks. Everything about being here was also extended timelines. We had to drive 20, 30 minutes to go get groceries. We couldn't just walk down the store to Whole Foods anymore. On that first night that we moved in, we went to go give our kids a bath. We turned on the water and nothing came out. We had no idea where the water was going to come from, no idea that we had a well. It turns out that this might have been a bigger project than we thought. With it being 2020 at the time, there was a lot of challenges with getting work done. One of the challenges was finding good workers. Everybody was either locked down or the people that were working were super busy because everything was booming at the time. Construction was really happening in a big way. So we had to find workers and piece together teams. I essentially had to GC this entire project. So organizing the people to do the demo, the drywall, the electricity, the plumbing, it was a really big project. And the number of people that we had into this property that either were here for a day or two and then took the deposit and then they left, or they were on drugs. It was a really difficult time to work. And I don't want to underplay the challenges that people were going through at the time, but it was definitely something that I never experienced in my life. The other thing about it was the expense of buying all the materials at the time was increasing by the day. Lumber had gone up over 100%. The cost of screws and nails and everything that we had to bring into this project was skyrocketing because of the COVID-fueled demand. Despite those challenges, we didn't have a choice to abandon it. We had taken out another mortgage to afford it, so we got to work. And the first unit that we did was this unit right behind us. We wanted to get one unit done before everything else to test the workers, to test our design, to have a model unit to photograph and then list online and start marketing the property. We also wanted to get this first one done so that we could move into a nicer unit and then have the other unit that we were in at the time be renovated to be ready for guests shortly thereafter. On that first night when Joanna and I were sitting on that cardboard box talking about our plans for this project, we thought this first unit was going to take us about a month to do and maybe $10,000 to $20,000 in budget. Well, it turns out it took a few months and closer to $50,000. We really went all out in this unit. We vaulted the ceilings, we put in a lofted sleeping area. We did a lot of things that were overboard, but in that process, we learned what we liked, what we could afford, and also it informed a lot of the decisions for how we were going to expedite and move quicker for the next units. This unit has become our most popular unit. It has a king bedroom with massive 6x6 bay windows that look into Promised Land State Park. It has a bunk bedroom. It has a separate office, a full kitchen with a Smeg refrigerator. The ceiling is knotty pine, which gives it a really modern outdoor aesthetic. Everything about this unit is what now has defined what the aesthetic and the overall look and vibe of the Rex Hotel is. But is the aesthetic of a unit like this enough to attract people? And why would we buy an old motel in the mountains? It's because of this. There's a trailhead to the Promised Land State Park right here. And the funny thing about this is that it wasn't advertised when this place was listed. After seeing the state park right here, we knew that we could create an experience here for people that loved hiking, loved snowshoeing, skiing, all the activities that you can do in a state park without having to drive anywhere. We ended up moving into Unit 1 in March of 2021, which was also when there was buckets and buckets of snow here. I mean, we're talking like up to my waist, but we couldn't slow down. So we started to open up the walls in Units 2, 3 through 8, and we started to realize that there were some things we could change and other things we couldn't. Namely, in this unit, there's a cinder block wall that's about 2/3 of the way down, which means that instead of making 2 equal size rooms, we had to keep them the same way. Those readjustments, those changes in plans were something that we had to do on the fly, but ultimately it dictated how we moved and how fast we got things done. When we got down to here, we started to realize that there was also a lot of landscaping issues and septic things that we had to address. There's an old cinder block cesspool right here, and for those of you that don't know what a cesspool is, it's a super old type of septic, which was basically a big pit dug in the ground and then cinder blocks lined around it, and then you just dump all the wastewater into it. So we had to make some upgrades, we had to make some changes. We also brought in a lot of soil here to build up the land and make it look a lot nicer because everything was really low. It was very swampy. These units here also had all the doors facing the road. Because we wanted to flip the doors and make this more of a courtyard appearance and have parking in the back, not in the front, we had to add doors in the back of these units. So the back became the front and the back became, so the front became the back, so the front became the back and the back became the front. Honestly, that was one of our best decisions in this entire redesign because it really centered everything right here and made this more of a community space. It turns out these rooms here were also really dark. So we had to open up new windows, which turns out windows are really expensive. They also didn't have any air conditioning in it. So we had to put in modern mini split air conditioning units to make sure that people were going to be comfortable. And we also reconfigured some of the rooms. Unit 8's a really special one because it has a bedroom that actually used to be the welcome office for the old motel. Most of these old motel rooms are pretty small. This one here is about 160 square feet, which makes it a little bit difficult to fit a bed, a bathroom, and a kitchenette in it. So when we realized that there was the old office on the other side of this wall, we decided to open up a door and put in the king bedroom right there. This has now become one of our most popular units. Right here was the door that guests over the course of 50 years would have come in to check into this motel. There was then a welcome desk that was right here where this wall is. And on the other side of that is our new manager's office, which I'll show you now. This was actually the back door to the unit that we moved into for those first few months. It was connected to that in-person check-in office because the owner could simply leave their unit, which is actually where that bathroom is now. They would be able to leave their kitchen, come into this, check somebody in. We got rid of that in-person check-in process. Everything's digital. So we wanted to make this a simple manager's office that could be used for non-guest facing services. $300,000 later, we were able to open up those first 8 units and start taking bookings for guests in July of 2021. We then took that initial revenue and continued to invest it back into the property, with Unit 10 being our next one. The reason why we didn't get to Unit 10 until we had more money was that this one was in really rough shape. I mean, this thing was falling down. This entire exterior was basically gone, so we had to tear it down and rebuild it. And the entire foundation, well, there was no foundation. It was off its foundation. So this unit was also very similar to Unit 1 in terms of size, which informed a lot of the decisions that we now had to make about this unit and how to make it a little bit more budget friendly. So instead of putting in those vaulted ceilings, instead of putting in a lot of the features, the design features that Unit 1 has now been defined by, we are able to be a little bit more budget friendly and create still a really beautiful unit that's become really popular without breaking the bank. This unit took us about 2 months to renovate and $30,000 instead of the $50,000 that Unit 1 cost. It has a lot of the same features as Unit 1, but it doesn't have the vaulted ceiling. It still has Naughty Pine accent in this little eating area. We have a full kitchen with Smeg appliances. We have this sliding door that goes out to the hot tub area. People love hot tubs. It's got a king bedroom. We've really been able to maximize space in everything that we've done across the Rex Hotel. This is really symbolic of it because you don't need a ton of space for a hotel room, because you don't need big closets, you don't have a lot of storage. People are coming here with a small bag. So a room like this is able to have a king bed without having to be twice the size if it was a residential unit. This entire process introduced us to the world of hospitality, and we fell in love hard. We love the risk, we love the rewards, we love the physicality of it, the real estate aspect of it. We love it so much that we ended up buying a campground down the road and we converted it into Ferncrest. You can see a video about that here. If you like what you see, you want to learn more, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow along.